Welcome
back
to the TAE Time Podcast.
Podcast.
Sorry, it might, I know it's light, but not as light as it would normally be. We had to close the blinds because the sun was just glaring in our eyes. And
it's hot.
Yeah, it's made this place a whole sauna and everything, but it is what it is. But yeah, we're finally back after another 2 weeks of hiatus. And for most of you who do follow our personal pages or follow the podcast page, you probably now have figured out the little secret that we've been hiding is the fact that we did our wedding.
We had our wedding.
So yeah, we've been planning, we've been doing all that, and because of that, that's why we've been kind of very inconsistent. We're trying to do the planning, do everything related to that, so on and so forth. So that's what's been taking up most of our time as of late. So obviously that's what this episode is going to be about.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Obviously, we've been very secretive. There's been a lot of trips and stuff and all that because we didn't, you know what, I'm very don't share until it happened. I'm so big on that. Evil eye, whatever.
To be honest, you shouldn't even share until maybe a year or two after, just so it's that's in before then, something happens. And
but the event happened.
Yeah, obviously.
The event is done.
Yeah, I guess.
It's over.
Yeah.
And also the memory is fresh. In a year's time, I won't be able to tell you everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, guys, we got married in Seville, in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
How did we come up with that? How did we...
You tell us. You tell us.
Okay, so basically, we lived in Spain for a little bit way back, but we never got a chance to go to Seville. And I know Seville was one of Farouk's want to see places in Spain. And I was when I was looking at venues, because I was looking on the Italy side and stuff, and I was like, okay, these prices they're not in my tax bracket. So I had to look at, other alternatives, and I was looking around Spain, and because Farouk had wanted to go to Spain, to Seville, I looked at Seville venues, and I was like, oh, I think there's one here that I really, really like. So we found some wedding planners, and they basically organized a day for us to go and view all these different venues in Spain.
Yeah. But the venue we chose in the end wasn't one of them.
Yeah, it wasn't one of theirs. Yeah. They used to work with them before.
Yeah, but
not anymore. Yeah. So we didn't know. We just kind of went to check it out. But we also viewed our venue. And we were like, okay, this is the one. This is the one. So unfortunately, we didn't get to work with them, and they were really, really lovely.
They're really lovely.
Very lovely ladies.
Yeah.
But we ended up with ours, and it was Villa Luisa in Seville. I don't know if it's open to the public, just to go.
No,
see it.
You have. I think it only related to
appointment.
Weddings.
Yeah, okay,
appointment
makes
based,
sense because they have a lot of weddings, a lot of weddings.
Yeah, they're doing they apparently do 5 weddings a week or something. So,
and I see it the venue instantly when we went there. I was I fell in love with it. You know what I mean? I saw the whole vision. I was this is a whole experience when you walk in. It's not where are we going to next? What are we doing? No, every single piece of the venue was just spectacular. You know what I mean?
No, the venue is really good. It was really beautiful. Side note, if you're hearing, I don't think you're picking up the sound, but just in case, we do have the window open, so you might be picking up some sound. But yeah, no, the venue is fantastic. We chose it for a reason. We went there, we saw it straight away, and we're yeah, this is the one. So we just really liked it. And then obviously after that, we're all right, we have to now plan this thing, because we went there. We kind of worked from there for a little bit, saw the venue, did the other ones, and then we're okay. And then straight away, once they're yeah, deposit straight away. And I was on the day, we had to give them deposit.
In fact, because we were a day or two late, we actually missed our initial date.
Yeah, we missed our initial date because we wanted to go see the venue. Mm-hmm. And so, because initially I thought they were going to hold it for us until after we saw the venue. But I assume maybe an appointment or so before us, they saw it, they wanted that date as well, and obviously because they wanted it, they had to pay the deposit the same way as we did, which locked in the date for them. They're not going to hold it for us in case we don't lock it in, kind of thing. So yeah, it is a shame, but it is what it is. We did it a week later, and it was fun.
I think also a little reason for that was that the fact that it was Friday the 13th, that people usually they don't apparently they don't really do weddings on Fridays.
Yeah, they don't do weddings on Fridays.
Yeah, and especially,
it's most on the weekends.
Yeah, and especially the 13th. But I was do you know what? I'm not superstitious. Like, I'm not a superstitious person. Like, even though people have come up to me like, you're aware your wedding's on Friday the 20th. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. But we met Juan at the villa, which is like, I guess the owner.
Yeah.
The coordinator,
the owner,
everything.
the coordinator, everything.
The everything there. Like, he was so amazing from the moment we walked in. He literally always said, like, anything you want, we can do. And he was right, because anything we wanted, like, he could do.
Yeah.
And he was so good for, like, for example, if we weren't getting responses from any of the vendors, he would instantly pick up the phone and call them. We were getting responses straight away from him, and he was just so easy to work with.
Very easy to work with.
He was responding to us at midnight sometimes, like on our WhatsApp
sometimes
group.
we would just send messages to be like, oh yeah, he'll see it tomorrow, and then like whatever, but he didn't respond. Straight
away, constantly. He was amazing. Like, he was just so good to work with. So yeah, what vendors you want to talk about, or what?
You have a whole thing there, bro. Come on, go through it.
So the first thing I have is our caterers. I think we need to give them a shout out.
Yeah, Rose Blanc.
Robles.
Sorry, Rose Blanc is the photographer and videographer. Robles. Yeah, Robles. We went to them pretty good, and they did everything. The food was really good. Everyone really enjoyed the food. The appetizers, the cocktail hours, everything. Everyone really enjoyed.
Yeah, like, because we obviously Farouk is Nigerian and stuff. They even implemented some like of the cocktail. What are they called?
Like, they did like a suya thing. Yeah, like,
suya style.
Yeah,
beef.
type thing. They did another one.
They had a plantain.
Like, yeah, kind of. Like, no, it was like a moi moi kind of thing, like a bean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a bean something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really cool. It was really good. Really shout out to them. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. And then, obviously, shout out to our photographer and videographer, Rose Blanc. They were sick as well.
Amazing.
Like, 2 photographers, 2 videographers, and they were on it all day.
Even longer
really
than they should have been.
They were all day. They were on it, and then we had to do a lot of, like, one thing about it for the the vendors. For the catering, it had to be their specific caterers. We couldn't just go pick any caterers, so they had a few to choose from. One caterer that we were reaching out to didn't have time for us or whatever.
No, they actually didn't. Like, they basically said, go look for someone else.
Yeah, they're like, we're too busy. So, damn, must be nice. Money is good.
Yeah.
And then, for vendors, it is also vendors through them, or you can get your own vendors, but I don't remember if we could.
I think a lot of the vendors are through
them. Yeah. Oh yes, the way it was, besides caterers, because the other ones you could do, but the thing is, if you did use their vendors, it was 10% VAT. If you use your vendor, it was 23% VAT.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know
what
that.
it was. That's what it was.
I didn't know that. Okay,
so,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so obviously we went through their vendors, because 23% and 10% is a big difference, especially when you see the bill at the end.
Yeah.
It makes a massive difference.
Another vendor that we worked with was, like, I want to talk about this a little bit, like the florist, okay? So we had booked a florist in very, very early, loved their work, everything. Communication with them was a little bit rough. I'm not gonna name names, but communication with them was a little bit rough. Okay, so there were several messages that I sent that were unanswered, but because they would answer now and again, I was like, okay, we're still good, until one day, a couple of months before the wedding, I reached out to them just to make sure we're all on track, and they basically said that, oh, they can't do our wedding anymore. They're already booked out somewhere else.
This was on the train back from a trip, by the way.
Yes.
That we got this news.
No, like,
and
my world was crushing.
A few months before the wedding, like.
I was so shook, because they never once communicated that they canceled on us. They never once sent a mere message, like nothing. It was like I had to reach out to ask again and again how we're doing, how is it looking, only for them to tell me that they canceled. And that was so unprofessional. Like, they deserve the worst Google review ever.
Very unprofessional.
But I haven't left it. I'm not that kind of person. But I feel like people deserve to know these things. And then we later found out that basically they had the wedding of a
Footballer.
footballer at the same
In
weekend
Marbella.
in
That same
Marbella,
weekend.
and they had to take it. I'm like, I don't care if it's literally like the queen, the king, whatever it is. That's so
Like a
professional.
painted customer is a painted customer.
Absolutely.
Like,
And to not tell me is so ridiculous. I don't know. I hated everything about that interaction. And then we got a new florist, which was a lot better, but the communication was still rough. Like, it was just very, we don't have time for this, which is crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me. And I know that they kind of saw me as like bridezilla, because I started adding my friend who speaks Spanish to the calls with me, because they were supposed to provide a translator, but they didn't. So I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. So I brought my friend Natalia, shout out to her. And she was basically telling them like, oh, like, she wants to make sure everything is fine. And they were like, oh, she needs to relax. She needs to relax. Like, you're not charging me thousands of euro. No, absolutely not. And I'm going to be so transparent. Their initial bill that they tried to charge was 14,000 euro. And I was not having that. Like, I had to laugh. I was like, absolutely not. And just for an example, I guess, is they were trying to charge like 130 euro for just like little cocktail pieces alone. So do you know what I did, as any right person would do? I bought like little Shein vases. I got like 5 of them, I think, for like 5 euro. And then my mom got a pretty bouquet of flowers for like 10 euro. And then those were cocktail pieces. They were gorgeous, fabulous. But don't underestimate how much work you yourself can do. And I know that sometimes it's a lot easier to be like, oh, I just want someone else to do it. But when you're being charged so much money,
yeah, it makes a difference.
Like, have a little think about it. Like, those flowers, from the moment they put them on till the end of the night, they're already like dead. Do you
But
know what
also
I mean?
at the same time, it is obviously you have to think about where you're doing your wedding, transportation, all that stuff. If you can order stuff to the venue or the thing directly, you should probably do that, because shipping it yourself is costly, having space, all these other things. Like, if you're in the same country or same area and you're just driving, you can drive all that stuff in a van. Obviously make your life easier. But if you're not, like, those are things, logistics that you have to think about as well.
But obviously then, speaking of shipping, because that's what we had to do.
I hate shipping stuff, guys. I really
That was
hate
a
shipping stuff so much.
process.
I hate shipping stuff so much.
I know, but
And this was our second time, so we're a little bit better, because we knew we had to itemize stuff. But still, at that, like, I just hate shipping stuff, guys. It's just so annoying.
I know,
the
we
whole
ended up
process is annoying,
like sending,
and it's
like,
so costly every time.
Yeah.
But
it was cheaper than getting them to
do obviously it was absolutely cheaper. Like,
especially with some of the ideas that I had, and the signs that I wanted. I know how much they would have overcharged me, because I know the moment you say wedding, like, it's game over, but like my welcome sign, my table seating, Etsy, guys, like Etsy, and it was like 100 pounds, 50 pounds versus like 3, 5, like completely unnecessary prices. Like, so shipping that over was so much easier for us. Our signs, like a literal like signs to hang them up on, that they ended up keeping, by the way. That was also like, I got off Amazon for like $20. Like, there's just things that you can definitely, I think, are worth buying yourself, and especially if you're having it in the same country. Like shipping it, yes, have a think about it. The reason it made sense for us, and I'll tell you, is because of the little planning things that I wanted. For example, we got these letters to the future that my friend designed. Shout out to Orla. I wanted everyone to write us a letter to the future, right? And every single letter required a box to be set up on every table. So all these little boxes had to be shipped over. The letters had to be shipped over. Another thing was, we did like this really cool concept of like cities. We wanted our tables to be called by a city that we visited. And so we were thinking like, oh, what should we put from every city? And Farouk came up with the idea of like snacks. And then I was like, hold that thought. And then I like looked it up, and ordered all the snacks at our house. It was mostly sweets and stuff that we were shipping over, but it was like for every table that we sent over, like for Nigeria, for Lagos, we had plantain chips. For Santorini was baklava. Like New York was Jolly Ranchers. That kind of.
But in hindsight, we could have shipped all that stuff to the venue directly, and it would have just been left there. It's just that Nicola don't want to see everything. Yeah.
Because then they're just getting like 50 orders of Amazon coming in and stuff, and it's like, are you getting this? Did you actually get it? Can you show me? It would have been really annoying on my side. But yeah, I wanted everything to be already there. And also, it wasn't from just Amazon. I ordered from UK
places
stores as well. So just all that to say that there were just small things that I wanted that I knew I was going to get charged so much more for if I got it through the company. Like even we had a sweets cart, and I saw the prices that they were on the caterer, and I was like, I can do that myself. Like I can buy the sweets, you just put the cart there, and I'll do it myself. So yeah, that's what we had to ship over. A bunch of snacks.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, it is a lot of planning, a lot. And shout out to Nicoletta, she did a lot. She did everything, minute details, everything like that. So, and it's like, I think, people always tell you, like, you have to plan a wedding in a year in advance. I think the more year advancing is more about, like, letting your guests know as early as possible so they have time. But when it comes to planning for you, it's actually not that much. Like, there was a long string of time that we really weren't doing anything. Like after we talked, had the initial calls with the vendors, there was really nothing we could do, And then we'd have initial, like take for example, the photographers. Like we had 2 calls with them. I had the initial call, Nicoletta couldn't make it. And then we had a second call just there, like right before the wedding, and where we went over everything, and then we just emailed the rest, and then that was it. It was very straightforward.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And then like even like obviously like the flowers was a little bit more stuff. Yeah. But like realistically, if it wasn't for all this stuff, it would have only been like 3 calls, if it wasn't for all the back and forth. And the caterer was also like only like 1 call and then 1 in-person tasting and like picking the stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of the stuff related to weddings is actually very straightforward. Honestly, guys, don't get it fooled. You don't really need a wedding planner. You can do a lot of it yourself, and it's very straightforward. I think obviously for us it is a little bit easier because we're very good for like planning things, and just like when we come into a meeting, we're going into that meeting knowing exactly what we want and saying everything to the T, but like detail.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
People need to be told what to think about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Usually.
So it's like, if it's like, oh, I'm on a call, like say the caterer, it's like, or whatever, whoever's providing one, it's like, oh, how about the table seating numbers? And it's like, oh crap, yeah, we need that. But I think we had it all. Like I brought my own seating numbers, you know what I mean? Like we brought so much of our stuff because we thought about it beforehand. But I feel like when you're told these things, that's when like costs go up very, very quickly.
Like most of the planning, to be honest, like for the wedding, besides like our calls, was mostly on our side of us talking to each other and be like, what do we want out of this? What are we trying to get out of this? What's the vibe? What's the vibe? Well, that's the thing we kept going back to. It's like, what's the vibe we want? And Nicoletta and I were always like, we wanted to just be one really enjoyable party, because we've been to weddings and like weddings are fun, and sometimes they're just long, and the one thing we wanted was like, we wanted it to be a good vibe, we wanted it to be a good party, something that people won't forget. We wanted to be like, the start is like, oh, it's really beautiful, and then the second is like, it's a very fun party, kind of thing. And even like, we never really wanted anything boring. Like even take for example our ceremony, like it was my friend Willie that married us off. And then even our MC for the actual wedding was Henry that did it, like, like close friends. And like, everyone was like so happy about the ceremony. Like the ceremony was like maybe like 25 minutes long even. And we're talking 25 minutes from the moment the guys entered and the girls entered. I entered, Nicoletta entered, and like we got a little speech in between, our officiant to give us a little speech and like stuff like that. Like we're talking, it was super quick. Like you didn't even notice the time flew by, and it's hot as hell in Seville at the time, so it makes it even better that it was quick, because then everyone didn't have to sit in the roasting sun for too long, like, and so I'm really glad, like stuff like that. Like people were like, oh, it was so quick and it was so great. They're like, we wish all like things were like this long, because it is.
But I know
long,
at the
time.
same time, like people did wait. So if you got there at 5, so we told guests to be there between 5 and 6. If you got there at 5, you did have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But
well, I think it was good because people got to mingle a lot. People had like lemonade, water, and they just chat to each other. People were chatting. Like, take for example, at the very start, we had like a little kind of like a Polaroid photo book thing. Yes. People were taking photos. People were putting it down. People were talking to each other. People were doing, like, everyone was having a literally good time. You know, it was not. It was not like.
Some people arrived, and I was still in my. I had like my, what's it called, buban. I just call it buban, but like, you know, the green thing that I was wearing.
Oh, the thing.
I've heard it called buban before.
I don't
but anyway,
know.
I was in that and I saw guests in. I was like, oh, let me get out of here, because you guys, I know that this seems crazy in retrospect, but like, I had a timetable for every single person in our bridal party. Like, I had we had 10 bridesmaids and 8 groomsmen, and every single person had a different timetable, like with different tasks that everyone had to do, and basically like we had a pre-wedding dinner pizza party together where we could like run through all this, and the girls and I choreographed a dance for the girls, so we did that on, you know, the Wednesday and everything, and on the day of the wedding they were very like aware of what's happening. Everyone knew what they had to do. There was no questions. It was just like da 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 da, and everything got done so quickly. And I knew it would because there were so many hands. Like, there were so many hands doing bits and pieces. There was like, during the ceremony, there was fans that we had on every chair. I thought they were so cute. I was like, oh my god. And then we had little reserved signs for where the guys and girls should sit and stuff like that.
Which got blown away when we had a little bit of wind.
Yeah, I wasn't aware.
We had to go chase them.
I wasn't aware. But and then like you said, the guys went out, the girls went out, you went out, I went out, and it was very quick. It was very, very quick. I know people might have been like, oh, here we go. Do you know what I mean? But when I walked out, guys, like, I had a little mishap with my veil, okay, because I never tried on my veil until I was about to walk down the aisle. Like, do not do this. Like, I don't know why I didn't. I was just like, oh, I got it, it's fine, because I tried on one when I tried on my dress, and I was like, oh, it's so easy. It wasn't so easy. Like, that thing would not stay on at all. And Amina was there trying to calm me down. She's like, it's fine, we got this. All we had was 2 bobby pins, okay? This was like a cathedral veil all the way back behind me, heavy, pulling at my hair, and all we had to secure it was 2 bobby pins. Like, if you could imagine my stress, like, I was like, stop the wedding, like, stop, delay your entrance. But it was fine in the end. I don't think many people noticed or what. It was dragging, but notice. Yeah, as soon as like we walked back down the aisle, I was like, take it off like right now, immediately. But I was just going to say that when I came and stood there, and we were there for all the 20 minutes, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And people have been here for ages. I was like, I can't, take me out of the seat.
No, it was hot as hell. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was really
emotional?
Good. Yeah, it was. I think everyone was pretty emotional, to be honest.
The whole thing.
Yeah, I said I was. And I said, I'm pretty sure everyone was, like, you know, during the time. So it was pretty good.
I cried a lot.
Yeah, I think the day was pretty emotional. Everyone was really lovely. Everyone's wishing us well and everything. So I think we really got what we wanted out of it, to be honest, for sure. I think it was really great. And like seeing everything after you've been planning, working, whatever, and like doing things and seeing come together is obviously like a big pat on the back, you know. And shout out to Nicoletta, as she did literally majority of the heavy lifting, like planning everything, thinking about everything. Like,
it's okay,
you know,
I use your wallet.
Yeah, you know, like, you know, obviously I'd give. Don't think I was like doing nothing. I was actually like giving input and stuff like that. Like going back and forth. Like, I'm not someone who can just not do anything. But like, obviously, I know it's like it's really more for her than it is for me. So it's kind of like, okay, like.
And for the guests, because the guests appreciated it. You know,
exactly.
they were like, oh my God, all the small
things. No, but what I'm saying is like, I wasn't going to ever be like, no. Obviously. Because I was like, I know it's like, she wants this, that. She probably didn't think about it. So I was like, here, obviously. And I'd be like, all right, maybe not this, let's do this. Or they'd be like, oh, maybe we should do this, you know, like to add upon this other idea you have or something like that.
Another thing I did was, which I feel like added so much to the whole vibe, I planned the whole playlist for between 5 and 6 while guests were arriving, and then during the cocktail hour. So it was like at the start I had like violin and piano vibes, was all like Afrobeat songs. And then for the cocktail hour, I had, if you know Yemi Sax, obviously, he was like the main one. All of his songs, all saxophone, all Afrobeat, hip hop, like all that kind of vibe, and people appreciated it, you know. I think one of our friends reached out and was like, oh my god, like your DJ was so good, and I was like, it was me, like I was the DJ.
Yeah.
So I think if you're considering like, oh, what's happening during cocktail hour, like, you know, think about it, think about people's experience and stuff. Another thing I was gonna do was like some like scents, like scented stuff, but Frug, that's why Frug put his foot down.
Yeah, which
And
makes
you know
no
what?
sense
Fair
on
enough.
an outside wedding, guys. Especially when, like, later on towards the day, there was the wind. No one was smelling anything. Like, it makes no sense.
But still,
Like,
do you know what I mean?
you
Like,
know.
in retrospect, I wish I got the girls to spray some like body spray around, like some like salted caramel, pistachio, yum yum. That would have been really nice. But I
He would have,
didn't.
as I said, the wind would have cleared everything.
Probably.
There was no smell there.
Probably.
Like, it was just humidity, heat, and wind.
But the music was great.
Yeah, it's ambiance.
Yeah, and there was like furniture that we had outside that people could sit on, little lemonade, little drinkity drink. It was so good.
But
So good.
what was funny was the inside furniture was the outside furniture, and the outside furniture was the
Yeah.
inside furniture.
But it worked out so
But
well.
it was actually better.
It worked out so
Yeah,
well.
it was better for the outside one to be inside and the
Yeah.
inside one to be outside.
But you know, I was just thinking like that kind of shows how kind of chill we are, because we got it
Yeah.
and I was like, just looks really good.
Yeah.
It's the wrong furniture, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who would have been a really stickler would have been like, oh, we need to change this around. I was like, we are not changing anything.
No, yeah.
We're leaving this as is.
Exactly.
But it looked really, really nice. Like really nice. And like I said, my mom, I used her little cocktail pieces around the place, like flowers.
Yeah.
Those look really good. And then on to, I guess, the dinner. So we got our natives done in Lagos because I wanted to represent Farouk's culture as well, and I
gave her the opportunity to represent her culture, by the way, just in case everyone's
no,
listening,
so
like,
we
whatever.
did mine through music.
Yeah.
Okay. But yours was definitely through outfits. Like I didn't really, I looked for some Romanian stuff, but I couldn't really find something that was like wowy enough for me. Nothing like the Nigerian outfits, like respectfully, you know what I mean? Like just polaria to you. But I got my red dress. I'll insert a picky. Shout out to the Dasa. I'll even link them and everything in a clip.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't inserting no picky.
No. So they made my red dress and I got it and I tried it on and it was so beautiful and I loved it. And then literally like maybe 3 months before the wedding.
3 months.
Was it even that long? It wasn't.
It was like a month and a half.
Bumbaclart. Literally, I was like, I want a green one. I want a green one. I want a green one.
Because what is it now? What is it? This is June. It was the start of May. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like about a month and a half.
I want a green one so bad. But these are the kind of things like when thoughts come to my brain, I feel like I need to enact them immediately. So then Farouk had to go get a native. I had to get my native done, and then the Dasa had to do it like quickly because it had to come over with your uncle when he flew over and auntie, and they did so amazing. Like I actually like hands down, because when I went to Lagos they took my measurements, like everything that I wanted. It was
that's
exact.
part of the things we did in Lagos while we were there in December.
Yes. But everything it was exactly how I wanted it. Like it fit so well. Obviously they had my measurements, but like it was just so perfect. Everything was so perfect. And my second green outfit was like a skirt and a top, which made it so much more comfortable for me to, move around. And I think that added to that kind of like fun, like showy kind of element, because you had an entrance and then we had an entrance, but ours was to a Romanian song, to a choreographed thing. But do you want to talk about your?
No, ours was just like Benin Boys and then whatever 2 other songs that went and played, and we came in, I had my cane, I had my native, everything, it was pretty cool. Energy. The girls definitely killed it. They did better than us. They really killed it. They had the whole choreographed dance, together with the Romanian music in the back. Really, really gave, the vibes. And then later on, we did our own entrance where we did a final change for more like relaxed fit that we're doing for the rest of the day.
I had a little dress. White dress.
Yeah, exactly. I had a really nice, like, it was kind of like a double-breasted like shirt. It was pretty cool. So yeah. So.
No, it was amazing. And I'm glad we did another entrance because that was also seemed choreographed, but it was just the dance to Lao.
Yeah, Lao.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I know, like, my cousin asked me, like, how long did it take you to practice? And I was like, oh, we
The
kind of
dance.
knew the dance.
Yeah, the dance that we do all the time anyway. So.
So I really liked that. I feel like people had something to kind of keep looking forward to, and it wasn't like too dragged, you know. And I feel like our speeches were really good.
Yeah,
like,
everyone was amazing. It was very emotional,
good.
honestly. Everyone did a fantastic job, and like obviously, in the end of the day, like the party was amazing. Everything was amazing, and like it's a big shout out to everybody who came. Like big testament, love to everyone. Like they came, they showed out, they did everything for us, and there's no words can ever give how grateful we are.
Yeah, I mean, having to fly over.
Yeah,
from all parts of the
world, like crazy.
Singapore, America, Dominican, Nigeria, Romania. Like it was just like a multicultural like get together. It was amazing. It was amazing. We're so grateful to everyone. No, everything was so good. And then we had a little shoe game as well.
Yeah,
it was a fun little thing. We cut our cake, which was delicious, by the way. I wish I got to eat more. And then in the after party was in a different room. And initially I was like, how is that going to work? Like, usually weddings are all in the same room. Like, is this going to work out? Blah, blah. It was fantastic. It was literally like being in a club.
Yeah, the acoustics in the place were really good. It was literally like being in a club. So
yeah.
Really great,
And then I feel like that allowed people to get loose, Like, we had an open bar to our left, a little, like, chilling area to our right. It was just...
a little thing
so
for everybody.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. It was so perfect. Like, outside we had a burger stand. We had an empanada stand. We had churros. So if you didn't want to be inside the chaos with the music, you could wait outside. And then I also planned a little surprise, bringing out 2 bottles of Azul that Frick wasn't ready for, and that was really fun as well. Just like everything just worked out so perfect. Everything was so on schedule. Like there was no beat missed. We were always ahead. The girls were always like, oh no, we need to go, but they were like, oh, we get to chill.
Yeah.
So it was just, I couldn't have done it without them, honestly. They're all so amazing.
Shout out to everybody, honestly.
The boys, the girls, the people.
The whole bar party that was involved. You guys are amazing. You all helped out so much to make everything perfect. And like, we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah.
So.
And another thing, I guess for me, this was kind of like, not shock, but like it's a surprise element. Just how much like everyone embraced the Romanian music. So Farouk's family organized a pre-wedding dinner, which was amazing. So shout out to them. I'm so grateful because I got to wear my red dress, got to wear red natives, and had such good food, like amazing food. And everyone loved the Romanian music there and at the wedding. And I don't know, I thought people would be sitting down. Like, I thought people wouldn't be interacting with it, but everyone seemed to love it. And that was so surprising to me because I was like, this music that I listen to every day, like people like you who listen to like Afrobeats and like cool music and everything. Well, cool, you know what I mean? Everything is cool, but still. And trendy music. I want to listen to my manele. That's amazing. And the other element was the fact that my Romanian side were so intrigued by all the wedding merch that, wedding merch, I call it. That your family and everyone was handing out. They were all like, oh, like, we want this. Why don't we get this? We want this. And I just didn't expect that kind of like mix to happen. And I was really pleasantly surprised.
Cross cultures.
I was so pleasantly surprised.
No, it was really sick. It was amazing. And I'm glad. I hope everyone had a good time and everything as well. So
yeah, Frick's a little mad right now.
No, I'm not mad. I'm just there's like, nothing more. Yeah, that's what it's for you. Yeah.
There's so much I want to say.
Yeah, go on. We're listening.
I feel like it's just been me yapping.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's like...
Let me take a little water break from my wedding merch.
Wedding merch. Oh, all the wedding merch. But people were actually... I was surprised that even the younger people did like it. So I didn't think they'd be that much into it, but absolutely. Yeah,
no, everyone loved it. It was just so... Everything was so seamless. Like, I was like, wow, there was so much money sprayed. Like... I knew there would be, but that also surprised me because obviously I haven't really been exposed to Nigerian weddings like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just kept coming. Like, it just kept coming. It was so amazing. And my girls were so good at like
helping pick up the
picking it
money.
up, and Nandi always having it on her. She was so amazing, honestly. And yeah, everything turned out so good. There was another thing I wanted to say about like buying your wedding dress, and that is to not buy it in Ireland or the UK. Like, just don't do that to yourself, because why are you doing that to yourself?
It's overpriced.
I didn't do enough. Like, I don't know what I thought. I was just like, oh, it's cute to go with the girls, try on dresses, and then just buy the first dress that, mind you, doesn't even fit properly. Don't do that either. Why would you do that? I had to get alterations that cost almost the same price as the dress. Well, half the price of the dress. More than half the price of the dress.
It'll cost
a third.
It costs nearly bang on the same price as the dress. Yeah. Because if you convert it from pounds to, it was nearly bang on the same price as the dress.
Just don't do that. When I know that I got my 2 Nigerian wedding dresses made to me for the same price as the wedding dress.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, don't do that. Where should you go? Eastern Europe. Go to the eastern side. Go to Romania, Bulgaria. Go to Turkey. A lot of beautiful
all those
dresses.
places where they make dresses.
Do not get it in the West. No matter what you do,
it's overpriced.
I'm not even joking. Go do the try-on with your girlfriends. It's a cute little experience, but do not buy
say
your dress.
no to all the dresses.
Don't say yes to nothing. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, I wasn't even like, not that I wasn't happy with my dress. I think it was a beautiful dress out of all the ones that I tried on, but it wasn't my like dream like wedding dress. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it wasn't like
sense.
Oh, like this is so me. It really wasn't. I think my dresses, my Nigerian dresses were a lot more me, I think they were perfectly exactly what I wanted and I envisioned. I just wish I did my wedding dress in Nigeria as well, because I'm sure they would have done it properly as well, and better, and gotten exactly what I wanted to me. But obviously for me, it was also that element of I don't know, like I don't know how it's gonna turn out. Like I don't know when I'm like, am I gonna get it? I'm like,
I shouldn't even know if the native was gonna be good or anything.
Yeah, like I didn't know anything. But it was.
But I did tell her that it was gonna be perfectly fine. Like people do it all the time.
Yeah, but we ended up going to the atelier. What's it called? What do you call them?
What?
The
atelier.
Yeah, but the place like Dasa, like what is it?
A tailor,
right?
Tailor.
Yeah. We ended up going to the tailor that I found on TikTok, because I know your family brought us to one, and then there was Dasa that I really wanted to go to. Yeah. So shout out to them, man. They drove me around like wherever I needed to be. Like it was just, they did a lot. I'm so grateful. But I wish I did my wedding dress there.
It would have been cheaper as well.
Hey, our 10-year wedding whatever. I don't know. Any future dresses I'm getting made, like. Yeah.
Okay, that's a better. No, but honestly, obviously getting tailored is obviously better. It's more to your body, your own taste, everything like that. So, and it is more expensive here. Like I even got my suit made here. It was very expensive, but it was also very nice. Everyone really liked the suit. But obviously, if I got it made in Nigeria, it would have been cheaper. But it was still fantastic service and everything. Yeah. Like everyone I worked with, Ludwig, he was amazing. Like everything was amazing. The process was amazing. So I can't shout out about that.
See, my experience wasn't even good.
My experience was very good.
Like, God, oh my God. Like, I cannot describe how crap my experience was with the alterations. It was the worst thing I've ever done. I need to leave a really bad review to this one because it was actually a joke. Like, guys, I went in, right? I dropped in my dress. This lady that was there barely spoke to me, okay? She was just like, almost like just, and I was by myself, okay? That was scary. That I shouldn't have gone by myself, but I didn't have anyone around at the time. So I went in, whatever, she did all that, and then she gives me the price, and I was like, yeah. What? And then she even like broke it down so I could see where the money was going. And I was like, okay. And I hand over Farouk's card. Thank God I had it because I would have been cooked. And I'm like, okay, they're going to make it perfect. So I go in for so there's 2 try-ons, okay? I go in for the first one. I actually had to reschedule because I was really sick. And I was like, I'm not going to get them sick, right? So I book it online. And then I call just to make sure. And when I called, they're like, "Oh no, it hasn't come through." And I'm like, "I knew it. Like, I just had a feeling."
They weren't open on the day.
Yeah, they were. Oh, yeah. They weren't even open on that day. So why would you let me? Let me shut up. So I rebook it. I go in and they're like, your tailor's not here. And I'm like, so who is here? Like, who has my dress? Where's my dress? And they're like, oh yeah, you can try it on with a different tailor, but your tailor is not here. And I'm like, cool. They get in a different tailor, right, to help me with the dress. This woman doesn't speak to me. She's just like, I asked for a corset back, okay? Like, I asked them to change the back. What did they do? They sewed a belt on the inside of the dress. My mom could have done that. My mom actually worked in one of these stores, so she could have done that. So she says, the belt is sewed on wrong. Why? I'm looking at her like, why? Why? Why is the belt sewed on? You tell me. And then I was like, that I gave you the dress. You guys sewed it in. And she was like, okay, we'll have to redo this. Like, yeah, she just seemed like she was so fed up, like she wasn't in the mood for me, which is so insane. But
when you're paying that much money,
literally. And then it was still a little bit loose, in the like boob area. So she's like, okay, this has to be pulled in. That was not pulled in. I'll tell you that for free. So the next appointment, I was like, I want to book a try on to make sure that whatever. She books it in, but I see on the receipt after I leave, it's a pickup only. I was like, that was so purposeful. That felt so purposeful. So I go into my final appointment.
I told her to fight.
Yeah, to pick it up.
No, I told you to fight when you get in there and tell them, bloody blah, bloody blah, bloody blah, bloody blah. I'm not just picking it up.
But I was never doing that because my wedding was in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, even a week, we had to leave a week beforehand. I was like, there's nothing I can do.
I did alteration literally a week before.
Yeah, you did, but they would not have done mine. So I go in and obviously they're like, your tailor's not here. I'm like, I haven't seen my tailor since the first day. And they're like, we can get you to try it on with someone else. So I try it on with someone else, and it's still like a little bit big on the boob, and I was like, oh, clearly nothing was on here. But they did re-sew the belt, and I was like, that's just it. Like, I'm just gonna have to take my L, hold it, and be extremely disappointed. But it was the worst experience of my life, and I felt so alone through it. Like, I was like, I wish I could have taken Farouk with me to like fight them or something, or my mom. But yeah. Don't get your wedding dress in the West, please.
Or if you're going to get off people that are actually reliable.
Don't get it altered.
And then everything that will actually be there throughout the whole process with you and not just be.
Yeah.
And you think for how much you paid, you'd actually have gotten a good service, Yeah. But that goes to show even the people who you're at the high end meant to. No. They don't do.
It's such BS, guys. It's such BS. And when it comes to wedding stuff, this is literally ironic because I didn't, but dispute the prices no matter what. Like, florists didn't get what they asked for, you know what I mean? Like, we had chats with everyone, like, to kind of try bring it down, but like, don't let them fool you. Like, don't take the first price you're given. Essentially. Because let me tell you,
like, even I did that for the photographer.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Like,
I know it was you that talked to them. So,
guys, you know me, Nigerian. I did that like photographer because I was telling them, oh, this is one I want, and they're like, oh, but this one, this. I said, yeah, but I don't like. I was like, I literally told them that's pricey, for all that, and then they were like, okay, how about that? And then they came back to me with like an amended package because they had 3 different tiers, and I was like, no, I don't want that. So they made like a kind of like a mixture of 2 tiers for me for a different price.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. Finesse.
Yeah.
Not finesse, but like stand your ground because they're overpriced. Like, even with our florist, they were still happy with the final price. So that tells me we were overpriced. But yeah, like even before
our photographers aren't overpriced though, by the way. I'll say that for free.
They were so amazing.
They were too. I feel like we actually kind of undercut them with how much they did in the end of the day. Let me not lie.
Yeah. So, like, I think so. But they were like literally spectacular. Like, before the actual wedding, I wanted them to be at my hotel at 3 because I had decorations up that I wanted pictures with. Like, and the girls we were all in our robes, and that looked really cute. And they were there at 3 sharp. Like, they were there. I was
directing everything.
Yeah, exactly. I was missing a bridesmaid even, and I was like, we need to get started. You know what I mean? They were so on the ball, and they were meant to finish at 1 a.m. there were still cameras in my face at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
with the Azul bottles.
They
I was
only
like,
left around 3. It was crazy. And like they stayed an extra 2 hours. And they did say this because they enjoyed it so much.
They had
like,
fun,
so they had so
yeah.
much fun. So, but no, there were such good people. Like
Yeah.
Maria and the team. Maria, Antonio, the rest of the guys, everyone fantastic.
Fabulous people.
I'm
Honestly.
fabulous people.
But yeah, guys, I could yap about it for ages, but
Catch her in the streets, ask her about it, and then see what I want.
I guess I might get started into wedding planning business if you need a hand.
You know,
Ask a girl.
inshallah.
You know where to find me.
Yeah, you'll see on our pages how it looks in the end of the day, and if you like it, shout her out, and she can help you plan your own wedding.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I really enjoyed it, and I felt like an empty in me once it was over. I was like, I'm ready to go again, you know. So, but yeah, we yapped a lot about our wedding. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you were there, thank you. We were so grateful for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again properly next time. In a bit. Peace.